Hey guys, this is Mandy, and today I wanted to talk about what I believe is the most difficult thing to let go of. And this can be a difficult thing to let go of in theory, and to accept what I'm saying, and it can be a very difficult thing to let go of every moment in which it arises. So when I say it's the most difficult thing to let go of, I mean both of those things. And so this is something I've completely let go of in theory, and every day I live seems to make this more and more apparent that this is true and this is the direction I need to move in. And that is that there are things in life that cause us to suffer. And of course, we know our suffering's true, but a lot of people, when they talk about spirituality and enlightenment, it's like, oh, my great suffering has caused me to have these realizations, and we're thanking the suffering for it. And in the moment when we're truly thanking the suffering, it ceases to be suffering. So it's the suffering itself. And when you see through it, it ceases to be repression. If we're afraid of suffering itself and not seeing through it, then that's repression. And so that's how we avoid the repression trap. But in every given moment when we have a thought that doesn't feel good to us, are we continuing down the road of that thought, or are we going in the direction we want to be going? And this is a cool paradox that in order to embrace the present moment, you want to be knowing where you're going. You want to be very clear. You want to have a trajectory. In this physical life, we want to have a trajectory of where we're going. And so there's a lot of talk about the dark night of the soul and people overcoming mental illnesses and everything. And when I talk about things in positive light, often people throw in my face that, oh, you don't understand how difficult this is. You don't understand the seriousness of this journey. And there's the hero's journey, and there's the idea of one as a hero. But enlightenment is dropping the idea of the hero itself. And as I've used the analogy in the past, you are the author of the story, you're not the hero. And so your battle wounds and your challenges can only be looked at through the eyes of the author, through the eyes of it was all contrast to create this story, to create you, to create this moment right now, instead of something that you see as part of the journey. So you can see the author character perspective, how both of these can be taken as true, but when we're speaking either as author and we're saying, disregard it, that never happened, or character, and this is my story. How can you say this didn't happen? How can you not be sorry for me and acknowledge the immense amount of suffering that I went through to get here? But again, nothing is true but the present moment. And so when suffering arises, knowing, having that presence of mind and knowing what you are wanting, that you're wanting to feel better. And when things really come in your face and you're really, really suffering, it feels like death. It feels like a death to go in the direction of what feels better, of dropping that thought. When you're having an argument with somebody, it feels like a death. And when we think about things, we're realizing with meditation and awakening how relative life is, how there is truly no ground for us to stand on. All of our memories are our story, as I said in the past video talking all about shadow work. When you do shadow work, when you see it, you see that the past was a complete fiction. And there's no possible way that we can write history without it coming from one perspective. We have to choose one perspective of the other over the other and tell a story. It's always a story. And so when when you're in your present experience, when you're experiencing something, you have these thought patterns of looking at it as maybe saying it's someone else's fault, or just having this pattern of thinking that's causing you to suffer, and then you know that's false. And it seems like you're losing your grip on reality in order to embrace this as fact, and to be like, okay, yes, this is totally fluid. My experience here, now, relative, it's nothing, and therefore it is totally fluid, and therefore I can make it exactly what I want it to be. I am in control. I have this immense power, and that's terrifying, to take that power and to drop the negative kind of things, because in a way they make us feel safe and they keep us from what we really want. But what we really want is exactly what terrifies us the most, and that's why they keep us safe. And so you face your fear, but there's no fear to face ever there anyway. And you'll know the difference. This is, people talk about awakening and you're afraid of going crazy, you're afraid of making bad decisions and stuff. But once you're in line with the direction you're going, and you just feel this exhilaration, and you feel this aliveness, and you feel this joy about going in the direction, that is what tells you what fears need to be faced. It's not just going out and facing fears for themselves. It's not putting yourself in danger for the sake of being in danger. There's a rush you're seeking from it. And you use your mind and you logically navigate things. It doesn't have to be dangerous at all. And so that's the real key, is paying attention to how you feel, and always going, and allowing joy to come up. And it doesn't sound interesting. It doesn't sound inspirational to talk about joy and happiness and everything. But what is the suffering? That's the past. We're not interested in that. That's not the direction we're going in, unless we're thrilled to tell our story. But if you're telling it in a painful way, if you're telling it to yourself in your own head and it's causing you pain, drop that. That's when you know you're supposed to drop it. And that the stuff that really needs to be dropped is the stuff that feels inside like you're dying. Like, I don't know why we cling to it so much. And so it's amazing what kind of trips a person has to take, and what kind of things they have to learn about reality, and what philosophy they have to understand in order to just see how incredibly simple it is. That go in the direction of what feels good. Go in that direction, and don't get stuck on the things. And doors open. And God knows what could become of your life if you stop the resistance, if you stop the I can't have this because, if you stop the I can't do this because, if you stop the I can't help this person because, and you just allow in your experience. And it doesn't have to, one of the magic things about it is you don't have to be productive every single second. You don't have to be seeing results every single second. As long as you're feeling good, if you're in a place of enjoyment, if you're in a place of, and this is ironically what having no desires is. The desire that Buddha talked about was not, I'm really excited about this, I really want to do this thing. It was, thirst is the best translation of it, is I really need this and I don't have it. And that's the desire you're getting. That's what feels bad. So go in the direction of what feels good. And as simple as it sounds, it is the most difficult thing that you can let go of. And it will get you a lot more credit with people if you talk about your battle wounds and you talk about how hard your past is, but there's no there's an opportunity to do that, but never to credit your own path, because then you're the hero in the story and you've forgotten that you're the author. And where does the true power lie? It lies with the author. So sorry about all the background noise and puppies like running around, but hope this was helpful for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment if you have anything to say. I'd love to hear from you. Talk to you later. Bye.